Welcome guys. So basically on this video we're going to be dealing with something called cookies. So we're going to be taking advantage of the vulnerability that has been developed or created by a web developer, on which, to give you a background of what's happening, a developer has created a website on which on this website users are supposed to provide a cookie name, and then if the user provides a special cookie name, that the user is going to be granted with a key. What we're going to be doing here is then we're going to try to assess the website and see how can we get the the key or the flag that we're looking for, instead of us going through this process of guessing the cookie name to get the key or to get the special cookie. So what we're going to be doing now is that we're going to go through, okay, first of all, for those who don't know what this thing is, so I'm going to be doing a picoctf, on which this is a CTF challenge on which you provide some hacking challenges or some practices on which you can learn more about how hackers think, and then some of the mistakes that developers get to make on which hackers exploit. So without any waste of time, let's jump straight into this thing. So we have this challenge called cookies. So when you open this thing, we do have a link. So the description of this thing says, who doesn't love cookies? Try to figure out the best one. As I've said, so we have to try by all means to guess the cookie that is special, on which it will provide us with the key, on which, or the flag that will provide here. Okay, so now let's dive into this thing. So let's go through this link. So this is the home page, and then it says, welcome to my cookie search page. See how much I like different kind of cookies. So they gave us an example of a cookie name. To be honest, I don't know cookies, so I'm just gonna go with the one they have given us. So sneaker doodle. So when I search, okay, I get a message. That is a cookie, not very special though. So it shows there's a special cookie that we need to be able to see some different message. And then there's this thing, I love sneakerdoodle cookies. Okay, no problem. But when we go back to the challenge, we realize something. This thing is more about cookies, and then websites do have cookies. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to go through this thing, figure out what is happening behind the scenes. What cookies do we get from the system? Then we're going to go to inspect, and then from then try to drag it a bit up, and then go to storage. And then within the storage, you can see something called value. You can see the name, value, domain, and all those things. So now let's go back to this page. Let's refresh, see what's happening through the cookies. We're gonna try to figure out the difference in terms of the type of cookies that we get. So from all these things we have seen a value change, right? So let's provide the sneakerdoodle again. So now it becomes 0. So meaning if we provide sneakerdoodle, we get the value of 0 on the cookie. So if we provide, that means if we provide -1, there's a chance we're going to go to the main page. Let's refresh the page. Okay, we did that. So basically, okay, there's a message there that doesn't appear to be a valid cookie. So let's go to the home. We get a value of -1. So let's provide 0. Okay, 0, and then let's refresh. Seems like to be sneakerdoodle. So to me, thinking like a hacker or a beginner in terms of hacking, I would think the more we change these things, the more we index different cookies. I think I would say this system has some kind of an array on which, when we provide a different value, we access a specific index within that list. So when we go to index 1, let's refresh. Oh, I love chocolate chip cookies, meaning we get different values depending on this thing. So let's provide 2, see what's going to happen. What are we going to get with 2? Let's refresh. Oatmeal raisin cookies. So now we can see that as we provide the value, we get a different cookie, meaning we index a specific cookie at a specific index, on which this is the index. So far we've managed to see the vulnerability of the site. The next thing we're going to do is that we're going to think of how can we get to the value or the index on which the cookie will become special. We don't want to see this message. We want to get to the cookie that is special. How do we know that? Do we have to iterate through at least everything, provide like values probably 2000 until we get to the point where like we have this special cookie? We can do that, but it won't be efficient and effective because it'll be wasting a lot of time. So what if the cookie that is special is at 1 million? How are we gonna get that? So the strategy that I would use, or we would probably use, all of us, is to break it into small pieces, meaning we test specific set of values and then check if however the return bytes of this thing will be different. To do that, I'm going to introduce a tool called burpsuite, on which it has been comes along Kali Linux. So I'm using Kali Linux at this point. I'm using my virtual machine. So let's go back to this thing. So to find out what is burpsuite, we're going to try to search, let's just say burpsuite. So we're going to try to figure out what really burpsuite is. So what is burpsuite for? Let's click on this thing. So they say burpsuite is an integrated platform and graphical tool for performing security testing of web applications. I'm not so sure if you can see it. I'm trying to zoom in. Of web applications, meaning this is basically a tool that is being used to test web applications by means of sending different payloads to see if I'm ever going to get different response from the normal response. So this is like a way we're going to be breaking this system. We want to get straight to the cookie, the special cookie, without putting much effort. So how can we access this tool? So we're going to go here under the web application analysis. We're going to find this tool called burpsuite. Let's open it. Okay, so it's opening. I don't know why it's taking so long. So basically it should be done by now. Okay, burpsuite has finally managed to open. So now we have this prompt for updating. We're gonna close this thing. We're gonna create a temporary project, and then we're gonna use default values, and then let's wait for this thing to finish starting the project. Once the project has started, the main thing is that we're gonna try to use burpsuite to try to send different payloads, on which the payload that we are more interested on is this one, right? So we're going to try to send different values and see when do we get to have a different response. Like we want to get to the point where like it will tell us this is a very special cookie. So we're going to go to the burp, and then we have burp open here. I hope you can see. I'm not so sure if I can expand. Okay, I cannot. I hope you can see the screen though. So now we're going to go to something called proxy. So we're going to open the browser to turn on the interception, meaning we're going to try to intercept and see what is happening. We're going to get different requests, and like when we go through a specific URL, when we turn on the intercept, we're going to be listening to the requests that have been sent, and also the response that we're going to get from that request after sending the request. So now the step is to open the browser. So after opening the browser should open. Let's wait for the browser to open. Okay, it's open. It is a bit slow though. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so we have a browser. So on this browser has burpsuite extension installed on it, meaning when we provide the URL, we can decide whether to intercept this website or not. So we're gonna go back to this URL. So this is the URL that we're trying to intercept. See the cookies and then the request that we're sending. So okay, I've opened 2 instances of this thing. So I'm gonna close one. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna provide the URL here, enter. I can just decide, try to do something like this, try to divide the screen. what is my byte? Okay, this is my byte. The interception is on, so it won't proceed until I say forward. So when we forward this thing, that's when it should be able to. Okay, let me check something. Okay, yeah, so we managed to proceed to the next page. So we're gonna do the same process of sneakerdoodle. I hope I'm providing that. Let's turn on the interception on. Let's see search. So again, we managed to see this thing, and we're just like some kind of like a response. So we gonna okay, let's forward it. We're gonna try to. Okay, now don't want to cancel this thing. I'm not so sure if this thing is listening to the right. Okay, so let me check something. I think there's something I'm doing wrong here. Let me open burpsuite on the proxy and dashboard. Wait, so we have open browser. Let's open a browser. I'm gonna try to start this process. Interception is on. Okay, let's turn on off the interception. Provide this. Okay, good. So now let's provide. Okay, let's turn on interception. Provide sneakerdoodle. Let's see search. Okay, we managed to get this thing. Forward the request. You should proceed. So we can see the name of that we've been providing on this request. So interception is still on. Can you forward this one? Cancel. Choose a password for new history. Okay, let me see. Okay, should be good. Okay, let's turn off the interception so it proceeds. I don't know why the forward doesn't work. Probably there's something wrong with it. Anyway, so now we're gonna be doing is that if we look at this, the history. If we go down to the history of this thing, we have this get that we have sent, on which the value of the cookie that we were trying to find is 0, and which is sneakerdoodle, right? Still, we can inspect this thing, try to figure the cookie that we have. Okay, it's on the application, I do believe, under the cookie. So the value is the same as the value that we have sent. So if however we change this value to 1, let's see if we're gonna get that. Now we refresh. So we have another get request with the value of 1. So what we want to try to do is that we want to keep trying to change this value of 1. Meaning what we are interested on, let me expand this thing, is to change this value to whatever range that we want to reach. So as we've said, there's a chance that the special cookie that we're looking for is at index 1000 if however this thing is being indexed. So now what we want to do is that we want to try to iterate through a specific range, let's say from 0 to a specific, maybe 50 in this case, until we see if however within this range we can find a special cookie. So now okay, another question you might ask is, how are we going to know whether this cookie is special? So we must also remember something. When we attack a website on burpsuite, we're going to be getting different responses, right? But we're going to see that responses are being returned in terms of bytes length. So we can see the byte length that has been returned, and then from that byte length we can see a different response. Like for example, if we for non-special cookies, the byte length of the response is like 5000. That means almost every time when the cookie is not special, we're gonna be getting a value of around 5000, right? But when we get a value of different, let's say when we get a different value for at least I don't know, 2000 less than the original, that means that's a special. There's a chance it could be a special value. That means it's be best to check up the cookie. So let's try to see if that thing is possible with burpsuite. So this is the value we're interested on, right? So we're gonna say we want to send this thing to any intruder, on which when you go to the intruder, on the payload section, the payload type that we're most interested on is the numerical, since we'll be sending numbers, since they are values. And then we're going to be sending from 0 to 50, and then the steps we're going to be incrementing by 1. And then we're going to start the attack. Demo version, okay, just okay. And then the attack should be starting right now. So we can see we get the length of the response that we're getting in terms of the bytes. And then so I'm gonna pause this video until this thing is done. Okay, finally we've managed to complete this thing. So burpsuite has managed to finish. As you can see at the bottom, it says finished. So now we're gonna be assessing what the length of the bytes that have been received from the request or payloads that have been sent. So as you can see, the length is 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19. And then we started to see some different values, right? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So let's try to see what's happening on the response here. If you can, you should be redirected automatically to target. That means this is another, that's something else we shouldn't even look at. So let's try to go up. Oh, we find something of 1265, on which most of them were 19, and then we can find 12, and then we find 19 again. So let's assess the response of this thing. As you can see, the response is exactly what we've been looking for. Let me try to expand this thing. So the technique that we use is that we try to send different requests, hoping to see a different response. And then from that response, that's when we're gonna pay attention to it. What is it that is special about the payload that we've sent? On which in this case, it was payload 80. So if it close this thing, let's minimize it for now, and then go back to the site. Let's stretch this thing. Can I just, and then provide a payload number 18 here. Can't I update this value? Edit value. Okay, if we provide payload 18, we expect to see what? A different response. This is what we've been looking for. This is the flag that we've been looking for. This flag is the flag that we're going to post there to be able to get the points that we're supposed to be rewarded with on this channel, on this challenge, I meant to say. So this is our flag. We're just going to submit the flag. Hooray, you have solved this challenge correctly again. So that is it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Cheers. See you in the next upcoming videos.